Contrary to popular belief, these popular energy drinks and sugar-filled sports beverages don't give you energy. Despite their clever marketing, at the end of the day, these drinks are just full of processed sugar and caffeine that are gonna set you up for a major crash later in the day. But today, I wanna be able to give you 3 simple tips that you can apply today that will give you more long-lasting natural energy, all without the crash. Now, when it comes to giving your body energy and producing more energy, so that way you are just able to play around with your kids, you're able to go an entire workday and just feel good in your body and in your lives, how do you actually go about getting and creating more energy? Now, as unsexy as this might sound, you need to be able to support your body's mitochondria, which produce the energy inside your body. If you've never heard of mitochondria before, these are basically the power plants inside of almost every cell inside your entire body. And if you are feeling brain fogged or sluggish, you hit that 2 p.m. slump, maybe you have a little bit of excess weight on your frame, or you're just not feeling mentally alert, these are all signs that your mitochondria are not working as optimally as they should. And despite what you might believe, these signs and symptoms are not a normal part of aging, and you can directly control how you feel by how you live your life. So the very first tip on how to get more energy naturally, this is to get more sunlight. In particular, more infrared light. Now, in today's world, a lot of people are afraid of sun. They want to cover up as much as possible, but the sun isn't the devil that it's made out to be. There's a lot of benefits that we get from sun, like vitamin D, but when we can get sunlight on our skin, the infrared waves, these are invisible waves from the sun. These are waves that we can't see with our naked eye. When these infrared waves hit our skin, they are able to penetrate just millimeters deep into our skin, and these interact with the mitochondria inside of our cells. And this interaction of these infrared waves actually releases nitric oxide into our bloodstream. So if you've been in the sun for like a minute or two and your body starts to heat up and it starts to get just a little red, I'm not talking about sunburn, but just a little bit red. And not only is this release of nitric oxide into your bloodstream your body's natural vasodilator, meaning it lowers blood pressure, but inside your mitochondria, that nitric oxide is competing for space with oxygen. And when you can allow your body to just naturally get some sunlight, release that nitric oxide, and allow more oxygen that you're breathing in, hopefully it's high quality air, all that oxygen to get into your body's cells, your mitochondria, that's more energy that you're able to produce. That's not something that energy drinks like caffeine and processed sugar are going to be able to give you. Our bodies actually expect to get sunlight every single day. Even if it's a little bit colder out, you're still getting the benefits of the infrared waves from the sun. You might have heard of all the benefits of red light therapy today. You go into an infrared sauna. That's essentially what that's doing. That's a man-made invention to recreate what the sun is just giving us for free. We spend over 90% of our time indoors, and then when people go outside, typically it's at the hottest time of the day, and maybe they burn and they damage their skin. What I'm talking about is going out in the early morning parts of the day, allow that sun just as it's risen up over the horizon, and maybe until like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, let that sun hit your skin, enjoy it while you're drinking your morning coffee and allowing your body to wake up naturally. That's a great way to get more natural energy that's not going to set you up for a crash later in the day. Real quick, guys, if you're loving this content and you want to see more content like this, hit that notification button below to be notified anytime that we come out with a brand new video. We're creating a lot of content just like this, and you're not going to want to miss it. Now, the second tip on how to give your body more natural energy, this is to eat a whole foods diet, but also limit seed oils as much as you can. Now, we've already done a lot of videos on seed oils and why they're problematic, but in terms of energy, this is a problem because seed oils are rich in a fatty acid called linoleic acid, and our mitochondria don't use this fatty acid for fuel that well. So to break this down simply, our mitochondria can use both glucose, which is basically sugar for fuel that we get from carbohydrates, or our mitochondria can use ketones for fuel. You've heard of the ketogenic diet, and this happens when your body basically breaks down fat and uses that for fuel. And certain types of fats are better for energy production inside of our cells than other types of fatty acids. And linoleic acid from seed oils is really good for kind of building blocks, building our cells, tissues, and things of that nature. But we are getting way too much linoleic acid in our diets nowadays than we have historically. because seed oils have risen over 1,000-fold. Soybean oil has risen over 1,000 times in the past 120 years alone. And when we're eating so much linoleic acid, this actually gunks up our mitochondria. And over time, over years to decades, this is really going to cause your mitochondria to become dysfunctional. Because there's this term called early onset mitochondrial dysfunction. It's a weird term. You probably heard of erectile dysfunction, but the same thing happens to your mitochondria. Your mitochondria can't get it up either. And this happens when our mitochondria get gunked up from things like processed sugar, too much linoleic acid from seed oils, and things that you're getting from an ultra processed food diet. In today's world, a majority of people are eating on average 10% of their total calories from linoleic acid thanks to seed oils. But historically, we've only gotten about less than 1% of our total calories from linoleic acid. And when you're eating 10 times more of something, this is going to make a huge difference in the outcome of what's going on inside your body. So here's what I would suggest. Limit the foods that are more ultra processed that you would find in the center aisles of the grocery store. This is going to be ultra processed foods that are full of processed sugars, seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, and refined grains. And then I would encourage you to eat more animal-based foods that are ancestrally aligned, like red meat, raw dairy, honey, eggs, and animal fats like tallow, butter, and ghee. Tallow in particular, this is rendered down beef fat, and this is rich in a fatty acid called stearic acid. And this type of fatty acid is used incredibly well for fuel by our mitochondria compared to linoleic acid from seed oils. This fatty acid, stearic acid, is also great for helping to encourage weight loss because eating fat isn't the same fat that's on your body. If you eat more healthy fats like tallow, butter, ghee, coconut oil, and olive oil, and avocado oil, these fats actually help you to burn fat and lose weight. And if you're doing a good strength training program, you can build muscle and have more natural energy. Now, moving on to the third tip to help give your body more natural energy, this is to move your body often. Movement in general, I'm not talking about doing crazy workouts, but just moving your body actually creates a type of energy called piezoelectricity. This is a type of energy that we create just from moving our bodies, and this creates a lot of ATP inside of our mitochondria. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, is the energy currency of the body. The more ATP you're able to put out, the more energy that you're gonna have. And if you're chronically tired now, if you constantly hitting that 2 p.m. slump and you're just feeling tired overall, I get it. It can sound so counterintuitive that you need more movement in your life. And it might sound like the last thing that you want to do. You know, you're tired. I don't want to get up and move my body. That's the last thing I want to do, right? That's what we would all think. And it's hard to kind of break that cycle. But if you can just get up and do 5 to 10 minutes of a walk, ideally, preferably outside, you're going to get that sunlight. You're going to have that natural little boost of energy. You're going to release that nitric oxide and you're going to come back. And I bet you're probably going to feel a little bit more energized. So what would this look like, kind of putting all three of these tips into practice? Well, my best recommendation is to go for a walk first thing in the morning, within the first 20 to 30 minutes of waking up, before you even have your coffee, before you have your drink. Go get that early morning sunlight on your skin. Go for a walk outside, let that sunlight hit your skin, move your body a little bit, breathe in fresh air. And then when you come back, have your breakfast, have a more protein-packed breakfast full of things like red meat, eggs, avocado, raw dairy like butter or raw milk or raw kefir, and then maybe a little bit of honey. If you can eat maybe 30 to 60 grams of protein with your first meal of the day after you've just had a little bit of morning movement for 20 minutes outside, getting the sun, breathing in the fresh air, and you do this for 1 to 2 months, like 30 to 60 days, you are going to have so much more energy. Now, here's a fourth bonus tip that I want to be able to give you because this is super important as well, but we can't forget about sleep, because sleep is where your body recharges and comes back even better. And this is where, if you're sleeping, you're actually clearing out a lot of the tau proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's disease and a lot of things like that. But sleep, if you aren't getting good sleep, then you're already just going to be set up for a tired day to begin with. But if you want to set yourself up for a better night of sleep, then doing what I just said, getting sunlight in your eyes first thing, this is actually the very best way to start getting a good night of sleep the following night is by getting outside, moving your body, allowing sunlight to come directly into your eyes without artificial light, because this allows your body to have a natural cortisol spike in the morning, and then that's going to slowly taper off throughout the day. And if you're not exposing yourselves to bright blue artificial lights in the evening, and you allow your body's melatonin secretion to rise, then that's going to allow you to get a lot of deep sleep the following night. I can't emphasize this one enough, but by avoiding blue light at night, this is really going to help your body to be able to get deep sleep as well, because just a little bit of blue light exposure to your eyes, I mean, from these overhead lights to your phone, to your TV, to the outside street lights, just a little bit. It's like 20 minutes of that exposure in your eyes. That's telling your body that it's still daylight, that the sunlight's still shining. Even though the sun might have gone down 2 hours ago, we could still be looking into our screens, still looking at the TV. And this is telling your body to keep cortisol levels elevated and to keep melatonin suppressed. And this is the exact opposite of what you want to do when you're trying to get good night's sleep. And actually being exposed to these lights for about 20 minutes can suppress melatonin for 90 minutes after. So if you've been staring into TV, into your phone screen without having blue light blocking glasses on, these are these red tinted lenses, or without having night shift on your phone screen, or without having like red lights on throughout the house, then you could be getting sleep, but you might not be entering those deep stages of sleep because your body's not producing melatonin. You could be physically unconscious, but you might not be able to cycle through those deep stages of sleep effectively. So reeling this back in now, if you can apply these 4 tips, these 3 tips and this bonus tip into your daily lives over the course of the next 30 to 60 days, you can have so much more natural energy that these energy drinks and these sports drinks aren't going to give you. These are the ways to give your body natural energy down to the root of your entire being. And as side effects and a default, you're going to be much healthier. You're going to reduce your risk for chronic diseases. And if you're applying all these things, it's just really going to help you in every other area of your life. You're probably going to reduce headaches. You're going to help autoimmunity. You're going to help digestive issues, because these things impact so much in our lives. And guys, I appreciate you being here. If you like this concept, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below. Hit that notification button to be alerted anytime that we come out with brand new content just like this. Be sure to send this out to somebody that you know needs to boost their energy levels naturally the most, and I'll talk to you next time.